all know, the Security Council finished this segment of its deliberation in the open session, and now they are convening in a closed session to discuss whatever they will discuss, along with Mr. Tor Winsland. We are grateful for those who responded in a positive way to our request to have this open meeting of the Security Council. And here I'm referring to the United Arab Emirates, China, France, Norway, and Ireland, and for all others who went along with that suggestion. One of the key things that we wanted to do in this open deliberation is to honor the victims, to honor 15 children who were murdered by the Israeli occupying authorities, and also to pressure the Security Council to shoulder its responsibility and to act in a practical way to begin the process of implementing its global consensus on ending the occupation that started on the 4th of June of 1967, and to pave the way for the Palestinian people to exercise their inalienable rights to self-determination, to statehood, and the independence of their state with East Jerusalem as its capital, and all other rights, including the rights of the refugees to return and compensation in accordance with resolutions of the United Nations. I believe that the lies and the stories of the Israeli occupying authority and their representative of blaming the victims for all of the action of the occupying authority, blaming all of their action on the Palestinian people, is a revolting, disgusting assertion that I can tell you, judging from the body language of members of the Security Council, that they reject it totally. And we will continue working with the Security Council on trying to open doors for a meaningful process. We will continue in engaging the Security Council on our initiative for admitting the State of Palestine to full membership. And we will work also on other initiatives in the direction of a political horizon. Of course, this issue now is not the main issue of discussion. We just left it to dealing with political horizon. But in the coming days, we will continue with the consultation that we started for some time in the Security Council. Let me just conclude by saying that continuing to do the same thing, expecting to accomplish different results, is an exercise of futility. The Israeli occupying authority unleashed 6 wars during the last 15 years against our people in the Gaza Strip. Of course, accompanied with attacks against our people in the West Bank, northern part, central part, Jerusalem, Masafir Yatta in the south, Sheikh Jarrah, Silwan, and other places. But they fail every time in trying to break the will of the Palestinian people. So they keep deceiving themselves by saying that they have accomplished all of their objectives from this operation and the following operation and the following aggression, and that is not true. They cannot break the will of the Palestinian people. What the international community should pave the way for is to begin a meaningful political process that will end this occupation, allow for the independence of the State of Palestine, and therefore to actualize the two-state solution on the ground. That is what is needed by the international community, by the Security Council, And the Security Council is so powerful that it could take the lead in this direction to stop this cycle of violence. During the course of these 6 wars against our people in the Gaza Strip, 2,000 children were killed, 10,000 civilians were killed, and Israel is responsible for these crimes that I am sure that the ICC, because it decided to investigate these crimes along with the ongoing crime of settlements, will be moving in that direction. We hope that they will move faster than the way they are, but accountability has to be put in place, and those who are responsible for killing Palestinian civilians, children, women, and the vulnerable should face the justice and should face should pay the price for the crimes committing against our people. This session, as I said, is now moving into a closed meeting. We hope that the Security Council can elevate itself to the level of condemning this aggression against our people. We are grateful for Egypt and the effort of all others in having this ceasefire, and we hope that it will be sustained. And we need the Security Council to implement its resolutions regarding providing protection for the civilian population under occupation. There are many resolutions of the Security Council regarding protection, just to name one, 904, and then there is the position of the Secretary General in his report in the year 2018 regarding protection that should be revisited and should be expanded through existing mechanism. We will be working with his team, the Secretary General, and we will be working with the Security Council with regard to providing protection. The Palestinian civilian population cannot be the victims of these continuous attacks by the Israeli occupying forces and the settlers. And since Israel abdicated its responsibility to protect the civilian population under the provisions of international humanitarian law, it is the duty of the international community to provide protection for our civilian population until the end of this occupation. Thank you.
Sam Azim, Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. Why do you think that the Security Council is not taking the steps they need to take in order to provide protection for the Palestinian people? You have been talking about this subject, this issue, as long as I remember, for years, but yet there is no practical steps happening. And then the second question is regarding Mr. Winsland's remarks, the envoy, the peace envoy to the Middle East, the UN envoy. He seemed to be putting some blame on the escalation, or what he called escalation, and the attacks of Israel, some blames on the Palestinians. What do you say to that? Thank you.
Do you want the answer in Arabic or English?
Both, wherever you prefer.
We do not accept any assertion by anyone that the victims to be blamed. Here we are talking about an aggression that the Israeli occupying authority admitted that they started it with regard to the Gaza Strip, and every place in the Gaza Strip was a target, and within a span of 3 days, 46 people were killed, among them 15 children and 4 women, and 300 and I believe 60 injured, and the number is increasing. So with such vicious aggression against our people, we do not accept to try to blur the picture for any reason. This is a blatant aggression against our people, all of our people in the Gaza Strip, and we condemn it. And we work with all of our friends in order to make sure that it will never be repeated again. And the way to do that In one part, we need protection. And this issue, it cannot continue to be delayed, because the longer we delay it, the appetite of the Israeli occupying authorities and their extreme settlers has no limit to continue attacking and killing and oppressing the entire Palestinian population, dreaming that the Palestinian will be broken and the white flags will be raised. The Palestinian people are resilient people, brave people, and they will never surrender to this occupation. They want their freedom, their dignity, and to live in their own independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital. That will be a matter of time. Now, why would the international community delay the process of putting in place the implementation of Security Council resolution related to protection? Is related to the balance of forces and those who shield Israel all the time for doing and continuing with these crimes that they are committing. We believe that the international community should implement these provisions, because providing protection for the civilian population will tie the hands of those who are continuing to attack the Palestinian people, and therefore protecting the Palestinian civilian population would be good for everyone, including the international community. We are not there yet. We will continue pushing for that, and we hope that we will succeed, hopefully soon, in our way of putting an end to this occupation, because the safety and protection of our people will be ensured once the occupation is terminated, and once our people live in freedom and dignity in their own independent state, sovereign state, and in control of our land, our seas, our crossings, our skies, like all other nations, and to put an end to this continuous attack of Israel, the occupying power, against our people.
بالعربي الإجابة لو سمحت، بس باختصار على نفس السؤال: لماذا تعتقدون يعني تعليقكم حول تصريحات كوينسلاند ووضع اللوم إلى حد ما كذلك على الفلسطينيين، ولماذا لم يقدم مجلس الأمن حتى الآن الحماية اللازمة للشعب الفلسطيني؟ شكرا.
نحن لا نقبل إطلاقا أي رواية أو أي طرح يحمل الضحية المسؤولية عن جرائم سلطة الاحتلال الإسرائيلي. للذين يريدوا investigations، فهناك لجان دولية محايدة، وهناك محكمة الجنايات الدولية، هم عندهم الصلاحيات أن يحققوا بشكل كامل ونزيه حول كافة هذه الجرائم، فليسمح لهم أن يمارسوا ذلك، وهم القول الفصل، وهم الذين يجب أن يقوموا بهذه المهمة دون تلوينها بتلوينات سياسية من هذا الجانب أو ذاك. نحن نعتبر أن سلطة الاحتلال هي التي قامت بهذا العدوان على شعبنا. هذا العدوان الذي بدأته هي سلطة الاحتلال الإسرائيلي على أهلنا في غزة، وهي المسؤولة عن كافة الضحايا والشهداء الذين سقطوا والجرحى الذين هم الآن يتماثلوا إلى الشفاء في المستشفيات وفي بيوتهم. بالنسبة لتوفير الحماية، مجلس الأمن اعتمد في الماضي الكثير من القرارات الصريحة والواضحة لتوفير الحماية، من مثل قرار 904 الذي تكلم عن تواجد دولي مؤقت في الأرض الفلسطينية المحتلة لتوفير الحماية للسكان المدنيين بعد مذبحة الخليل، ونص ذلك القرار كذلك على سحب السلاح من المستوطنين الذين يهددوا الأمن والسلم وحياة المدنيين الفلسطينيين في الأرض الفلسطينية المحتلة. فمثل هذه القرارات نحن نطالب مجلس الأمن أن ينفذها، وكذلك مقترحات الأمين العام في التقرير الذي قدمه في عام 2018 الذي نعمل معه ورحبت به الجمعية العامة على أن يأخذ مداه في التنفيذ، وخاصة لجهة توسيع وتقوية الميكانيزمات الموجودة على الأرض في توفير الحماية التي تساهم بشكل مهم في توفير الحماية، تحتاج إلى أن تتوسع وتحتاج إلى مزيد من الإسناد والقوة لتلعب دورا مهما في هذا الجانب، بالإضافة إلى تنفيذ قرارات مجلس الأمن. شكرا.